Oh, I can just tell that you haven't sketched in a minute. That's projection. That's me projecting. GRANQUILRUCKUS. Hi, beautiful people. It's Naya, and welcome to whatever this is. I just wanted to connect with y'all. It's been a minute since I painted. I usually do sketch. Painting just requires a bunch more steps since I build a canvas, then I have to come up with a concept, then I have to sketch the concept on there. It can be a lot. I give my fellow artists their credit. I just wanted to check in with y'all, my fellow Black creatives, because this is the last day of Black History Month actually, and it's been one. I think some of y'all will agree with me saying that I feel like people get extra testy during this time period. I don't know if people have been recognizing this pattern, but we also have to uplift and celebrate each other nonetheless. So that beautiful Black woman, and I'll put all that information up. She was a part of the Olympics USA hockey team, and she's the first Black woman who got gold in that category. It took me a little bit to sketch this, but now I'm gonna set up my palette and we're actually going to start putting paint to canvas. So let's get to that. Shoot, there's a bunch of things I actually forgot. Damn. Actually, we might just have to use the water I was using for drinking because I don't think I feel like going back downstairs. It's all right. The main purpose of this video, I want to talk about the importance of art in the Black community, and that's why I wanted to dive back in historical facts that I told you in the last video I will do. Art has always been prevalent in Black revolutionary movements, and I think some people think that's a very obvious statement to make, but people don't know the variety in which ways that has been done. I always kept this doc from my independent art study I had now 2 years, maybe a year and a half ago. Typical art painting palette, that's what we're going to be building. I first want to talk about one, how the arts were purposely made inaccessible. And I'm not even just going to talk about marginalized groups, but it was always thought of this luxury aspect to partake in, which when you really think about it, it is hard to make money in the art field if you were not going institution route. So usually the people who are able to do that are people who come from money. And unfortunately, it makes people not look at the arts or not take the arts seriously. And the arts are so important. So fun fact, I got my degree in art science and innovation. It's an interdisciplinary major. So I did art and technology, I did web design and coding, but I was more looking at the artistic aspects of what you can do with technology. And I minored in psychology for those who care. And having the balance of that made me see that art is so expansive and there's so many career fields that you can honestly take it, but a lot of people don't believe they have access to it because they're not given the chance to have access to it. Art is in almost every single sector of work, and I wish people explain that to children more instead of just saying, don't worry about that. I'm using acrylic paint, by the way. This is the brand of paint I'm using. We're gonna be here for a minute, y'all. So please, if you haven't gotten your shit out yet, please do. And I'm definitely going to be scatterbrained because I am used to just locking in on my art silently. So just bear with me. Sorry, y'all. I don't know. I should have been more prepared before I started this video. My brushes, where the hell? I see them. Sorry. I love to put y'all on. This is my favorite color wheel to use. Again, my independent study professor put me onto it. When I make these drawings, I always put a grid on. I come up with the concept and idea of what I'm gonna do digitally, and then I make sure everything's proportional before I start putting paint on. I know my professor when I was in Rome did not like that at all. Which makes sense if you're doing traditional painting, especially with oil. I told you we're using acrylic today. He just wanted me to mark everything with paint and wanted me to scratch pencil out entirely. But you know, we have to realize what works with ourselves sometimes. Oh, this isn't completely dried out. I lied. Will we ever be able to get started? Next time I will be more prepared because this is ridiculous. I think the biggest mind shift I had with painting, maybe I should actually take my rings off. Yeah, let's do that. Was when my professor came to my studio one time and basically saw how I set everything up, and I didn't have magenta on my palette. She was just like, why aren't you putting that? And I didn't really give magenta its credit. Now it's my favorite color to paint with. Always make sure you have magenta in your palette, especially when working with dark tones. All right, everything's set now. Our palette is set. Everything is set. I already got paint on my hands. I didn't even paint yet. Okay. I'm definitely not finishing this whole painting in this session, but I want to get more into the conversation I was having prior. I'm just going to start with a base color for my canvas, and then we'll work from there. It probably makes sense for you to actually explain what I'm painting in case you can't see. I'll point it more over towards y'all. This is a painting that I'm very excited about. I think it's gonna be my best one. And if you've seen my artwork, you usually see me do, sometimes it can be a bit futuristic, but I say I always have this duality when it comes to realistic view and graphic view. I love putting so many details and shadows when I paint or draw these human beings, but I love always having an element in the painting that you can't see in real life. I love drawing people, that's my focus, and I usually draw Black individuals. And someone came up to me and they're like, I noticed that you draw Black men, Black boys as of late, and I feel like I always been drawn to that because I have a younger brother and he's 9 years old now, and for reference I'm 22. So when he came into my life, it really shifted my narrative of everything. I probably love that boy more than I love myself. When you have those big age gaps with your siblings, you do have this immediately wanting to protect instinct. He's such a smart kid, and getting to see him grow and develop has been a blessing. Since I'm seeing this young boy come into my life, it made me think of the narrative of a Black boy a lot. And that's when I feel like I started curating my paintings more to that, because I've obviously loved showing positive Black representation. I always have. But it made me think of their view, what they go through. I painted Black women before, but that process of me going through my art style the same time my brother was born, I did hone in to this. Yeah, that works. And there was this painting I did freshman year of college, and my dad named it Otis, but I've always been encapsulated ever since that point, and I feel like it's not complete. I want to make a series of Otis, actually, because back then that painting of Otis is not on the best technical scale at all. Everybody wanted to buy it off me, but my mom claimed it. Back to that topic, I want to personify Otis a bit more because I painted him when I was young, and I've learned so much more now from that point. I'm doing almost like this light peach. It's not going to pick up on camera, but this light pink undertone. Sorry, I'm not gonna lie, I was speaking and totally forgot the point I was making. Oh yes, Otis. So Otis means a lot to me, that painting, because that was the first time I made a painting of that scale. All my paintings before that were smaller, and I've taken art courses in high school and even before that, but that was my first college course and that was one of my last projects. So even though it wasn't technically that good, it's still one of my favorites. And Otis will always mean a lot to me. So I don't want to give up on him, which is why this boy on this canvas is Otis, but it's just the aspect of him being older, because now I'm older and it feels like he grew with me. A lot of people ask who the boy is, and I just want to give Otis a story because I think Otis in a way is reflective of me. He is artistic and brilliant, and I just want to show more of that. So I will be definitely making more paintings of Otis. And a lot of people ask how I even drew Otis' face the first time, and it was a bunch of things. I have a bunch of wonderful Black men in my life, and it took some features from my brother, took some features probably from his father, maybe my father. Like, it's just a mix of Black features, and I don't know. Sometimes things just end up working out. And now we have Otis a little bit older here, so he looks a bit different, but you know, he still got his fro going on, and now you can see him have a little bit more personality. The whole concept of this painting for me was how art is life, because that's truly how I feel about it. So you see him have this gas-looking take on him and this mask connected to it, and you just see paint, You just see paint flowing through the tubes that he's connecting to. I should have definitely put something on this wall, because I definitely should not be painting the walls in my apartment. I made the upstairs level my studio. It's just a little nook. That's all you need. I honestly do see in my drawing career, because you guys know I'm drilling right now, I went all the way back to the basics because I want to get more into ink art. But I definitely see Otis being always someone that I draw. Here's a problem on camera, like nothing is changing. This helps me a lot. Like I really do mess with the undertone. It already was primed, but this is going to help me because it's a bit tinted pink. It makes a difference, even if you can't see it right now. This also helps the pencil markings go down because I do have heavy hand pencil markings, but I know professors all over the world comment on that. I use acrylic paint and I layer acrylic paint. It won't show through. I promise it won't. Oil, I can't speak too much on that. But acrylic paint will be fine. I'm going to start off with the mask on the boy's face. That's one of the most important and pivotal points of the painting. So that's where I'm going to start instead of starting from the background going in. I'm going to start inward going out. Back to the main point I was talking about earlier. I do think it's important to realize how Black art is judged unfairly. Something I noticed for multiple aspects. One thing, people already judge things harshly when they don't understand it. And for some reason, people act like the Black experience is this anomaly. They treat the Black experience as if they have to understand it to respect it. And I can never, ever, damn it. I want to read some notes to you that have to do with the main point I've been talking about. Like I told you last video, I was reading Soul of a Nation. Great book. I'm going to add what it looks like because please pick up that book. I believe it's around $30. It shouldn't be more than that. And it's such a great read if you care about art, 1960s Black figuration. Just Black art during that time period in general, but there's this chapter that I've really been interested in that I wanted to talk to you guys about. While this dries, I'll read this to you. Okay. The artwork I'm going to be referring to is Chandler's Fred Hampton's Door 2. Chandler in '73 made a painting that had to do with Fred Hampton's assassination by the government. It was a painting his door with bullet holes, and I believe the painting was stolen, so I just want to read this to you. In a group of exhibition in Boston, it was soon stolen and its whereabouts remain unknown. Chandler promptly created Fred Hampton's Door 2, the picture I showed you previously, this time using an actual door. The found object was subject to splintering and damage from bullets and painted red, black, and green, the colors of the Pan-African flag. Meant for expressing your voice. There's numerous amount of ways that Black people are silenced daily. Media narratives disparaging us, day-to-day situations in the workplace. Whether your way of expressing yourself is painting, drawing, speaking, do that because it's important, and don't let anybody stop you either. With that point, I want to read one of Barclay Hendricks' quotes. Painting himself into history rather than waiting for someone else to confer the honor upon him. Don't think your art is less than because you weren't able to go the educational route when it comes to your arts. Not everybody has the privilege to do so. It doesn't make your art less than. You, as I said before, if you want to expand your practice and get better technically, I did make a video about that a while back, including free resources if you even have the time. If you just have a calling to pick up a brush or a sketchbook, do that because your work is going to connect with someone else because that's your perspective. And there's someone out there probably living your same life and wants to hear whatever you have to say. So silent the noise. That was a big point I want to talk about because to the point of Black art being judged unfairly, it's because people don't understand the perspective. Not only do they not understand, they don't respect it. They don't understand it, more so they don't want to. It makes people feel very uncomfortable. This is a message for everyone. When it comes to you being uncomfortable, don't try to deflect, sit in it. Discomfort is trying to let you know something, and instead of running away from it, why don't we face it to get to the grander issue? Anyway, that was a lot of chit chat. I'm painting the face mask with the blue tint. This is going to have a bunch of layers on top of it. I'm probably going to do yellow next, then we'll see. I'll play around. I'm not gonna lie, this is why I don't do painting process videos frequently. It's very quiet and I'm trying to have a conversation with y'all, but I do get pretty focused and it takes long. It takes me a while to finish these paintings. And I love y'all, but I'm not about to rush for y'all. If anybody rush your process either, not all of your talents have to be monetized if you don't want, but hey, I do accept commissions from time to time. So if you are interested in my artwork, just email me. One hobby that is hard for me to monetize is my crocheting because I don't crochet as much as I paint. I've only been crocheting for a couple of years and it's been on and off. I thoroughly enjoy it, and people have asked me to make pieces, especially when I was in that art exhibition with the Marie to Marie garment installation I did based on environmental waste and resource depletion. I love doing that. I made my pattern myself. It was a very fun process. I made a bag, made like this 2-piece that I had. It was beautiful. And I thoroughly did enjoy that process. I did. And then to sell something like that, I would just need time. Fun fact, speaking of crocheting, we do have a very fun video planned for next week for all my fashion lovers out there, because I've always loved fashion. That was actually my first segue into art. When I was younger, there were programs available for young students. I'm talking about, what was I? Maybe 10, 11, to take classes at Parsons in New York. And I loved it. And I always love fashion, love a plethora of mediums. Even though that was my first probably professional step into any sort of art, was the fashion design when I took the classes at Parsons, I've been drawing since before I could remember. I've always loved it. Drawing, painting, using charcoal, graphite, ink. I've always loved it. Oh, this is gonna turn out nicely. Fudge! Damn it! Look at this. It hit every single point of the palette. Damn. I love how fast acrylic dries. I know a lot of painters are not a fan, but it's one of my favorite things about it. This is really probably just a watch me prep for a painting video, and I'll probably come back. I'm not used to standing while painting. That's another reason I like sketching a bit more, is because I prefer sitting my ass down and having the canvas flat on the table. It's just hard when the canvas is bigger. There's color on the canvas, actual color. This is gonna be a mixture of colors because I told you like the paint is deriving from what it looks like at your tank, but technically it's almost like a spray can connect. It will make sense when it's done. I'm not doing this with y'all today. It'll make sense when it does make sense when it's done. My paint lasts me a long time because I only use a little bit, used mostly water, and I just add onto it. Because especially if it's looking like mixtures of paint, you don't want it to look too heavy off rip. Almost looks like watercolor right now. That's kind of how I treat my acrylics sometimes. I added the blue much sooner than I wanted to. My paints mixed, but it's okay. Like here. Oh, I'll paint over that. That is not what I was trying to do. It wasn't dry yet. This video is probably all over the place. I'm sorry. And I got fucking nowhere. Let me show y'all. Sorry. I have allergies that are acting up. It's very unfortunate. Oh my gosh. It's starting to piss me off. Okay, if it's pissing you off, take a second. This Black History Month came to a close, but every month is Black History Month for me. I have a Black Nuance playlist. If that interests you, please go check that out. I just wanted to say we need more Black people in the creatives. We need the arts and creatives in school generally, because look at where we are. People are complaining about movies, music, everything. That's art. Because y'all don't want to teach it because y'all think it's not of value. It's funny, y'all say it's not of value, but then it's only constructed so only a certain amount of people can get access to this type of education. There's something in there that y'all need to unpack. I'm not gonna do it all today. Look, I'm gonna continue working on this painting by myself. Gonna end up well. I gotta take my time with it though. And doing all this, it's a lot. I just wanted to come up in here, share some Black knowledge on y'all. Another reason the arts are so important is because it came from our people, tradition, the things that help them survive. That's where our arts come from. Our music, what they used to depict and show each other, the way we braid our hair, all of that, it comes from such powerful origins. So if you feel a calling to it, please do it. It's probably your ancestors speaking to you. Happy Black History Month. I hope you have an amazing day, week, and weekend. I love you ever so dearly. I guess this is farewell. So deep, but I had one got more heat, so please come back.